Good morning, BHS. Thank you for showing up today. It's great to see you. I'd like to introduce my great friend, Phil. He's a therapist and a musician and a wonderful human being. He's an amazing father, and I just love working with Phil. And he's going to tell you all about him, so I'm just going to give it to Phil. Everyone, welcome Phil.
I'll come every meeting now with an intro. Jeez. You just helped my self-esteem today. So this is an icebreaker, and I see you guys are still grabbing your food. I'm going to throw it to you. Here's the rule. When you catch it, wherever your thumb lands, pick a question. What advice would you give yourself as a teenager? Stop worrying what people think about you. That's where comparison syndrome begins. Ladies, up high. Woo!
If you could play any musical instrument, what would it be and why?
If you could play any instrument, what would it be and why? I'm saying that for people at home.
Drum.
Yes.
And
Get
I
that.
don't know why.
Oh, you get the tension out, you keep the beat, you drive the song. Heck yeah.
All right. So I just
Now,
throw it-
everyone look alive. It's coming your way. Don't want to knock any coffee cups over. One of the handsome.
If you had 1 extra hour of free time a day, how would you use it?
One extra hour of free time a day. What would you do?
Meditate.
Sir, yes, sir. Oh, see, that's what I want to avoid. Yes, we have a mess.
Sorry, John.
What was your favorite TV show?
What was your favorite TV show? Or even now. What's your favorite TV show now? Say it again.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers, the ultimate nurturing parent. I love it. We must all contact our inner Mr. Rogers. Can you throw it back my way? Cheers. Thank you. Awesome. That's just to get us warmed up a little bit. And those of you who are eating, still eat. Enjoy yourself. Oh, you don't have to stop. I'm going to lead us through a little business meditation with my guitar, which you certainly can keep. Picture yourself living in a vision. You can smell coffee in your coffee mug. You're sitting at your desk. Bright. You're sharp. Energy. Ready to take feel this chair. You hear the sounds of business. Typing away skillfully that even you need to send, that English you need to send. Take a sip of that coffee. It tastes like success. Making you understand. You love the taste of success. Imagine yourself connected with clients. Your brain bringing in new business. Some of them are searching for a job. Manage your tasks effortlessly. Turn those emails. Answer those calls. Embrace like a boss. Now imagine yourself at the end of the day, feeling good about the day you just had. What did you accomplish that day? What obstacles did you overcome? How skillful and what energy to do. Ready? Rise. Turn. Almost over. Stop that right there. How was that for you all? What did you experience? What did you experience in that meditation?
Well, I was listening to your quotes.
Perfect. Did they speak to you?
Yeah, I felt good.
Good. Back in the back, what did you visualize? What did you see?
I loved it. I think we all should take
Excellent. Boss man is still in there. Come back. What did you experience?
If I don't, it's for me that space is like a rubber band. I don't put time in with it. I don't put time on it.
I just got the high sign that my power might be going out and it's a test. I've got my power cable because speak and plug it in. But as a good speaker, you hope for the best and you prepare for the worst. So I've got the slides printed out. Walk you through. Let's see. How's y'all sleep? Snap if you're sleeping well. Oh, uh-oh. I see a few non-snappers. I gotta say, you guys, that's, yes. And it's closer. Thanks, love. Appreciate you so much. Sleep is key. You guys know this, right? The heart of a lot of mental health challenges is sleep. I'm trying not to get too much into therapist mode, but quick thoughts on sleep. Harvard Journal of Medicine said, go to bed at the same time. Thank you, Harvard. Still good advice. That's one of the big keys. Snap if you have a healthy diet. Now that's better. All right. One hand, yes. We are works in progress, aren't we? Less carbs, less sugar, more protein, more veggies, more fruit, right? Wine is a fruit. And what all good things in moderation, said the guy that's 4.5 years sober off of alcohol. So I would say.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But yes, and careful now. I was using wine as my anti-anxiety medication. It's not a very good anti-anxiety medication. Have any of you been to or are from the South? I'm from Kentucky. And there's a horrible obesity problem. When they give you a boat of food piled up this high with butter and sugar and sauteed in whiskey, sounds great, doesn't it? Oh, there it is. Dun-dun. Cut back. There you go. There's my little exercise snap if you get daily exercise. Once again, the AMA says 120 minutes a week. So that's however you want to slice that. 15 minutes a day, 3 sessions, 40, whatever you want to do. But I try to do a little something every day. I often will take clients on a walk around the lake, walk and talk. And it's hard to be depressed when you're walking around the lake. Our minds are like water. I got such a great shot of the water. It was smooth. If only our brains could be that way. Social supports. Snap, if you got lots of friend groups, you got one right here, right? Yes. These are key. How is your joy, fun, and laughter quotient? Snap, if you're having lots of fun with life. Okay, all right, good. This is a really good. Excellent. Excellent point. Daily intention. Daily goals. Journalers, man, it's funny because I'm a therapist and a coach, and I hate journaling. It's like, oh man, I had a life coach. Do you remember Leela? Did you know Leela? Oh man, I got a journal, so I cheated. I dictated, but journaling is journaling. How many of you journal? Yeah, this is a hard one, right? But trying, yes. So I'm actually gonna take us here. This is the self-esteem flower borrowed from the self-love workbook. By the way, coming soon, I have my own version of this. I have a book coming, and it's called Reinventing Me. So if you're interested, I have a sign-up sheet. I can let you know how to get it. I hope to get it by the end of this summer. That's the goal. Going around the flower of self-esteem, what is a self-esteem? This breaks it down so we can understand better. Self-worth. Do you feel like, snap if you feel like you have value to give the world. This is beautiful. Excellent. Self-image isn't all about if you need image help. It's Chico's, right? Head over to Chico's and get that scarf to match those pants. Self-image, how do you present to the world? Snap if you feel like you present to the world pretty well. This can be a tough one. I'm finding myself doing a lot of dating coaching with men of all ages. And they've got tank top, hat on backwards, holding a bass. Now, what kind of girl are you going to bring on with a bass in your hand? Farmers.com. No offense. How are you presenting? Self-aware. You guys are probably snapped for this. How self-aware. What that means is you know your positives, growth edges, your positives and blind spots. Self-growth. I'm going to ask this as a question. What are you doing to promote growth and expansion for yourself? Great question.
Well, I go to church every Sunday morning. That's a big.
Probably you can get double credit for that because that's self-care as well. I'm in a training for internal family systems. How we integrate our parts. Always training, always growing. What are you doing to promote self-growth? Right. I call it out, y'all. Sorry, I'm that kind of speaker, man.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't have anything, but I'm just get the vibe of how are you growing?
I guess I am 2-3 times a week journaler.
So you're killing it with that. It's beautiful.
Reading, meditating, trying to stay present throughout the day.
Excellent.
I call myself in and say,
Stay here. Be here now.
what am I doing?
How many of you work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week? Yeah. How many of you don't do that? Oh, Melissa, yes, thank you. I say that playfully. As entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, how many of you, hands up, work for yourself, are an army of one? I'm an army of one. Yeah, that's right. And when you're an army of one, you got to do it all. You got to do it yourself. Quick thought, dude. Run out and hire a virtual assistant today. I had a psychiatrist call me and say, call these guys, and I did, and I got them hooked up. So I have a team in Texas, but the psychiatrist said to me, quit calling your clients. And I'm like, what? That don't make sense. Yes, it does, especially with my day, my 9 a.m., my 10 a.m. You see what I'm saying? How am I going to call people back when I'm back-to-back sessions? So that's a little tip. Self-image. I have a choice. Is it worth repeating. So that's the flower of self-esteem. I probably have left one off, but we'll allow for margin for error. Perfectly imperfect. Oh, I don't have a graphic for this, but imagine I was covered with fur. Oh, I don't want to go to Phil's talk. Oh, God, I have to get up at 6 in the morning. Go to Mile High. It's too hot. Too cold. It's too hot. Too long. Too much. That is the grumblies. I use another word when I'm not at church. The grumble F's. How many of you struggle with the grumblies? Anyone's grumbling? All right, yes. So watch out for the grumblies. The other affectionate character out of the reference is Eeyore. Come on, Eeyore. It's sunny outside. Oh, it's going to be too hot. I'm going to sweat because I'm covered. Breathe and get out of that Eeyore spot if you are in there. I have an affectionate term for when I'm too hard on myself. I call it tripping down the stairs to the torture room in the murder basement. Right? If you haven't gathered yet, darlings, I have a flair for the dramatic, right? So, but do any of you struggle with this? Oh, dang it, that email sucked. Why did I send an email? Now I'm going to look at that one. We must practice loving self-compassion. And I highly recommend, if you have fallen into that pit, and up there he's saying, it puts the lotion in the basket. If you're down in that pit, you guys know something. Have someone pull you out, please. Call someone, because it's hard to let you down. You must be gentle with yourself. I've got 2 slides that I pulled from the tech world. Before startup, I was in a hospital setting. I was working at West Pines Hospital for many years. It was a great job, was outpatient services coordinator. Then I shifted over to Denver Springs as the director of outpatient. If you've worked for a for-profit hospital, woo, put on your crash helmet. You're ready to go. But after a while, I'm like, man, I've always wanted to have a practice. And then you get this bump. Yes, I have a practice. I bought a couch. I have a room. Clients are coming. How many are you in this excited bump right now? Anybody just starting? No? You guys are seasoned professionals. I love it. Reality sets in really fast, y'all. For me, this was about a year. What I figured out quickly is I couldn't work part-time at the hospital and see clients. My brain was going to explode. But here is the trough of sorrow. Isn't that delicious? Welcome to the trough of sorrow. I think in tech terms, this is where you're like, oh crap, the app we tried to make didn't work and we're redoing it. What went wrong with it? And our funders don't want to pay for it anymore. How many of you feel like you might be in the trough of sorrow? A little bit. There is hope here. Keyword pivot. Have you all gotten tired of this word? They said it a lot. We must pivot. But you have to in business. You might start off thinking, I'm going to do Reiki, and then you go, you have to learn to pivot, shift.
Another word is adapt, I think. Adapt is
Flex, adapt, heck yes. Pivot's a great word. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
All of them fit perfectly. You know what I've realized really fast? When you're in a big hospital corporation, for my business, things move. Whoa. Boss, I'd like to get this new equipment. That would be a no. Maybe next year. But when we're little guys and gals, you can wake up tomorrow and go, you know what? I'm going to be a sex therapist. Boom. Sex coach. She's got a subspecialty she hasn't told you. This one is very similar, but I wanted to here's a good way to put this, wearing off of the novelty. Like, hey, let's start a dating app. Great, there's like 999. So how is yours? Here's the trough of sorrow, but I like this term, the wiggles of false hope. I think the answer to that is change it up, try it again, roll it out, fix it. How many of you have had a crash of ineptitude? Ooh. That would be you tried something and it was epic fail. And then you walk away going, oh, that didn't work. I have realized recently, I do couples work, and I checked out my Psychology Today page, and the way it reads, it's almost saying, couples in crisis that are on the verge of domestic violence, come see me, I will help you. And I have shifted going, these guys are hard to work with. These are couples that are like, walk into my office strangling each other. I'm being a little facetious, right? But what if I shifted that to, you just got married. Come to my weekend workshop. I'll help you fall in love for the rest of your life. Doesn't that sound better? So rebranding can be key. I think this is something to remember. I have a cross fingers for me, you guys. I have an opportunity to start outpatient programs with a mental health company here, Oregon, and Washington State. I keep waiting for that email with the contract. I'll believe it once I've signed a contract. But they have told me the goal is to make it thrive. I'll have equity in the company, which is, I've never had that before. And then you sell it. This is how lots of businesses. Have you thought of that? One day I'll sell my business. My kind of business is hard to sell.
You were talking about like an exit.
An exit plan, yes. But this is something to consider. A lot of you guys that may not make sense of that. It'd be really hard for me to sell out a practice people. But unless you walk and talk and act like me, my clients probably won't like you. Person. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe. Never say never. So this verges on, I've got another slide for spirituality. How many of you meditate? Yes, you? There are some tricks, you guys. You guys know Deepak Chopra? Deepak has a 3-minute meditation. If you pull up Deepak Chopra 3-minute meditation. That's awesome. How many of you are afraid to start because you don't have enough time today? How can you do that? I can't sit for an hour and meditate. Deepak will take you there in 3 minutes. The other one I highly recommend is Calm. We have Calm. Do you guys know? It's by the way, somewhere along the line, maybe 2008, we assume everything should be free. And maybe so, but buy the app. It's like $100 for the year, $10 a month for it. It's probably gone up. Go ahead and pay for Calm if you have to. Exercise, I said earlier, how many of you have, this one's a hard one, how many of you have a mentor you can call if you have a crappy day? Yeah? Boy, we need to see more hands. Perhaps you need a phone list, Melissa. So I will offer, if any of you ever someone to talk to you about your business, people, support advice, or just, yeah, man, that sounds rough. You're welcome to reach out to me. But you need that because it's lonely at the top. It's hard starting a business. This time I'll let you volunteer. Who wants to share a trick you use to get going? Who can share a trick? How did you get started? You got one?
Well, no, I mean, to me, it's an ongoing process. 50 years I've been doing my own business, but one of the things that, a word that I've incorporated into my is what can I do today to surprise myself?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Surprise. It just breaks up all these paradigms that just seem to go nowhere. Like, what can I do today to reinvent
Yes.
myself? And to me, it's just like the right one. It's like surprise is like out
This reminds me of Eleanor Roosevelt's "Do one thing a day that scares you."
Oh, yeah.
Surprise is a better word, actually, because
Yeah.
surprise has a lighter, softer, nicer. I have a bit of advice for you, and that is don't wait, just do it. Because I feel like I was waiting forever for like the perfect time, and almost, you guys have seen E.T. You know how that bike just takes off in the air, how he is on the bike. That's what I feel like the business is. And you're pedaling, and then you put a wing on, and another wing. You don't have a little of that, you'll never get started. So start somewhere, anywhere. How many of you struggle with anxiety? I do. Anybody, well, and we don't need to open the door, but I'll open it for myself. I have a trauma history. So anxiety kind of lives on my shoulder at all times. Trauma can get triggered. I didn't bring it today, but I'll explain it to you. We call it the Face Bucket Challenge. My then 10-year-old daughter dubbed it this. You get a big bowl, put ice cubes and cold ice water in there, and you put your face in it. Preferably you sit down. And nurse told me because you could have a drop in blood pressure. 3 rounds of 10 seconds. Burn, Brian, great, 7. It will reset your brain. Go like this real quick. That's your brain, and inside, if you unfold where your thumb is, there you go, that's your amygdala. Do we know the amygdala? The amygdala is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn center of the brain. Have you heard fawn? So fight, we know, this idiot client, I need to destroy them. No, 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 no. Oh, I better run away. I'm going to go into my bedroom and pull. Freeze is, maybe if I stand here long enough. Go away. Fawn is, what can I do? I'm so sorry this went wrong. What can I do to help you? Can I buy you flowers? Can I come to your house? Can I wash your car? That's fawn. The Face Bucket Challenge will reset your brain. It's like when your computer gets stuck. It's doing that scroll death. You don't turn off your brain, but you do. Another easy anxiety buster, and people might get annoyed. Is that your vagus nerve? Not, hey, wait, let's go to Vegas, baby. Have you heard of the vagus nerve? It runs up and around and past your heart and down to the stomach. That's the freeway of panic. If there was a fire in here, tornado, let's go to the basement. That's the vagus nerve. But unfortunately, a bad email can trigger the vagus nerve. Humming will soothe the vagus nerve. Meditation or soothing music. When it's bad, I recommend hypnosis. It ails you. Stop smoking. Travel anxiety. General anxiety. And how many of you know what EMDR is? No? Okay. For the trauma survivors of the world, why do clinical people have to make it such a fancy, why couldn't we call it the sunshine program? It's eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing. Yes. EMDR is, you watch the therapist's fingers, or nowadays, you put on the headphones, you hold the paddles, and there's a light bar that goes back. And your eyes tuning into that helps the trauma from the right side of the brain, which is like pain, 2 o'clock in the morning. This city, it's all scattered like a hard drive, like the old school disk. Get to the left side of the brain, where you can say, when I was a kid, I was sexually abused. But now I'm okay. That's EMDR, if you ever need the advanced level. How much time I got, Miss Melissa? I can keep going. Am I good? 15, great. Okay, it said a different time slot. Okay, I'm going to teach you real quick. Dialectical behavioral therapy. Sorry, that is, I broke one of my rules right here. There's too much text on that screen right now, isn't there? I'll explain it to you quickly. Oh, it looks like it's started with a mind of its own. It's gonna keep going. I'll do this for now. We'll just do that. This is a good example. First, you start with an emotion, fear. How many of you don't like Colorado rattlesnakes? I don't like Colorado rattlesnakes. I mean, I like them. They're kind of cool, and they eat the mice, right? I was out walking Leo, my little white dog. I'm like, whoa, that's a baby rattler. Come on, Leo, let's go this way. That is what we would call a justified emotion. I should be scared, right? Oh my God, my business is failing. I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be living in a van down by the river on coal. Wait a minute. That's what we would call unjustified fear. That's our minds playing tricks on us. Normal fear sounds like anger. How many of you get really angry? It's a threat, and it prepares us for fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. Number one, if you're in anxiety, keep going, keep stepping forward, keep moving. Don't freeze up. Don't avoid. Where my procrastinators at? Procrastinators? Yeah, I really should send that email. I'm just it'll be fine. Ooh, that reminds me, I got something to do tomorrow. I better do it tonight, right? It's one of those lovely insurance. I said, please fill out the form to justify continued service. I have a love-hate relationship with managed care. Can't you just come to therapy as long as you want to? Prove you're sick enough to keep coming, but not too sick, because then you should be in the hospital. There's that. Anyway, keep moving, don't freeze. I'm going to talk to you about exposure. Imagine, if you would, I was afraid of water. I'm actually kind of like in love with water. I'll go paddleboarding with you all today. Let's go Bear Creek, Cherry Creek. Let's go all over. Pretend for the moment I was afraid of water. I've got 2 kids. Imagine they're little. 1 and 3. Oh no, let's say 5 and 3. Daddy, let's go to the pool. Let's go to the pool. Imagine. Okay, come on, kids. Put floaties on the kids. Okay, sure. I sit on the lawn chair while the kids are splashing around. You're doing great, you guys. Looks good. That's week 1. And then week 2, I come up and I sit on the side of the pool, put my feet up. Okay, I can do this. Week 3, I'm in the water with my floaty, my scuba gear, my oxygen tank, ready. And then the last week, I have a swim instructor teaching me how to do it. That's what exposure therapy is. So you actually keep exposing yourself to whatever makes you scared. But how many of you learned because Dad picked you up and said, well, kids, you're going to learn how to swim today. Sploosh into the deep end of the pool. We call that flooding. And if you do that, it will lock you up and then scare you even more. So you have to be careful not to flood. Let's see here. I wonder if these are all. So I think I fell down into the torture room of the murder basement in 2020. We all kind of had a time. How many of you struggle with depression? Yeah. Great, Phil. Yeah, I really want to. I think we all, right, at some level, can be depressed. I like to say depression and anxiety are cousins. Sometimes your cousin lives out of town. Sometimes your cousin lives in town. Sometimes your cousin lives in the basement. So there's a lot of crossover with things like depression. If you think of justified sadness, let's say your grandmother passes away. You should be sad. So you go to the funeral. You have fond memories, celebration of life. That's justified sadness. Brings people in, and actually, is anyone in here Jewish? I think the Jewish tradition they have an edge on us. They have process called sitting Shiva. You know this? Someone dies, they put on their black outfits, they get the front door open, come on in, like 2 or 3 days. I mean, these days it's probably 1 day, sadly. But back in the day, it probably was 5 days. And people would bring casseroles. Stop by. Where did that go? We should have that. Anyway. The number one thing you can do for depression is join a gym. Are you a member of a gym?
I climb trees every day.
So you're working out. Beautiful. You are a monkey. That's beautiful. How many of you guys belong to a gym? If you struggle with depression, the number one thing to do is get active. You don't have to join a gym. You can walk. Walking is awesome. But watch out. Remember the grumblies? Yeah. I can't go to the gym. Or it's too cold. Come on, Colorado people. What do you mean it's too cold? And you get in your SUV that's very heated and you drive. I'm fascinated by this notion. When January rolls around, the January people come out. You heard of January 1st, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. By January 31st, I'm not there, and they're still taking money out of my account for the membership that I don't even need anymore. Dialectical behavioral therapy talks about building mastery. So figure out something you can be an expert at. That will also help depression. Anybody have special expertise? You've got Reiki and sound healing. That's right. I still want to come see you do your best. Don't isolate. How many of us are like, man, I can't do today. Let's go back to bed. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to put on my jammies. I'm going to go lay on the couch. I actually lean the other direction. Sleep, who needs sleep? But don't go back. How many of you work from home? Anybody? Watch this temptation. Isolation is not your friend. Let's see here. Do the quick and dirty for anger. How many of you struggle with temper? A little bit. I think anger gets a bad rap. Anger is actually a very productive emotion. It's invigorating. You don't see the weightlifting coach going, "It's okay, Phil. Just come on, man, lift." Some of that's good, right? A little bit of that power is a good thing. Overcome obstacles, reach goals, define what's important. How many of you struggle communicating? If you struggle with anger, my boss, I hate my boss, he's talking about me all day long. Work on the other side of the building. Gently avoid that client that makes you angry. Gently avoid it. It's a little bit passive, and this one is hard. By the way, you know you're in the zone when it's like, wait a minute, I actually have to go rock climbing, but I'm scared of heights. I can't do that. Perfect, you're in the zone. Wait a minute, I gotta go buy that angry client a Starbucks. I hate that client. Everybody's had that, right? You've had that difficult situation. Do something a little bit nice. Don't attack. Nothing good will come back. And a little slide for spirit. How am I doing, Melissa? Thank you. I think we kind of covered some of this. How many of you pray? Yeah. I have a little bit of a, somebody told me I swing both ways spiritually. I play guitar at a Lutheran church, which is great. It's a very inclusive, welcoming. In fact, our church is called Abiding Hope. And Melissa's been there. It's really sweet. It's like going to a family reunion. When I need my dose of Christianity, I go there, play guitar. And I'm also studying, I should say practicing, but I'm studying Buddhism. And it's so wonderful. It gets a little wild. Past lives, future lives, different Buddhas, and demons, and spirits. But I love it the mindfulness, staying in the moment. And I have a little brag, a mindfulness brag. The other day, I'm with Paisley Park. 3 bands playing, we're the last. We're outside, Tailgate Tavern. Nice little spot on Main Street in Parker. We're waiting. These festival styles are really rough. Because if you're the last band, man, you have to be there at noon, but you play at 9 o'clock, it's like, well, I guess we'll sit here. But it was shady. They had brought us free food. Sweet potato fries, are you kidding me? Yes. The funk band's playing before us, they're tearing it up. And I looked out, and my phone is gone. And you guys know this shuffle? And then I went pure mindfulness and thought, it's okay. I'll be in this moment. When it's time for my phone to return, we'll find it. It's a packed restaurant. Surely some good soul has found it. Maybe a waiter or a waitress, a boy, a girl. My guitar player looked at me and said, man, what is wrong with you? You are like chill. Like, how are you this calm? I don't see how you do it. And that was a real compliment. I truly was just a moment. Music, food, people, just the right temperature. You know that feeling when you're in the shade in Colorado and that breeze. Sure enough, I got up, walked to the bar. Hey man, I was curious. I misplaced my phone. Oh yeah, somebody turned it in. But the old me would have been like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to do my business tomorrow? I don't know. So mindfulness can be our savior. So I have a TEDx talk. It's called Music is Hope. And in there, I talk about a power anthem. Power anthems are like, We Will Rock You. Thunder, hear the thunder. Songs like that. I have a power anthem that I played earlier. I give love to all of my people need love. What's your power anthem? Do you have one?
Through the fire and the flames.
Who does that?
You would know.
Go ahead, tell me.
Dragon Force.
Is it like a metal or rock?
Yeah, it's a hard rock band.
I'm gonna look that up. This is why I asked that. Through the fire and the flames. Love. What is your power? Here comes the sun. Beautiful. I would call that a chill too, because it's not. Although uplifting is good, but chill is also good. Do you have a power anthem? You don't have one? Eye of the Tiger, that's great. That is old school, yes. So start your day with and put it on while you're in the shower, and all of a sudden you're Rocky for Adrian. You know, you're ready to go. After that. Connection and community is what you're doing right now. And stay connected. Ask for help. And this is our 12-step, our Buddhist, our human, heart, mile high. How can you be still? Please, let me go ahead and check. The last fun. Here's my self-care right here. This is what, and by the way, if you come see me play, I'm going to look totally ridiculous. You won't recognize me. You have been warned. This is my Prince tribute band, Paisley Park, and that is at View House in Centennial. And I'm such a attention hound. I'll grab my phone and get 30 seconds of playing and put it up on Facebook. It's more me sharing. That's all I got. Any questions? Thank you. You guys at home got all that too. Come see me if you need. Any questions, thoughts, feedback?
Is that an actual video?